Alright, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to get higher ticket agency clients. So the reason I want to make this video is because I see a lot of newer agencies really struggling when it comes to how to position yourself in this very competitive market. So as a principal, I never believe that the SMMA, the marketing space, is too saturated. I think it's your job as a business owner, your job as a marketer to create your own market, right? Really figure out what's your advantage, what can you do differently, what's unique about your offer or your service that makes you different and will allow you to tap into specific markets. In my case, the way I started my agency was I partnered, the first thing I didn't even try going after clients, I partnered with content agencies to fulfill and create ads departments for their agencies. I ran ads for their own agencies to get more clients, and then I also ran ads for their clients to help their offers stand out, to help them generate more revenue from their existing clients and ultimately make their offers stronger. So the way I created my own market was I first started partnering with content agencies who already had clients, just that weren't selling ads. So my huge thing when I first started, the way I created my market was through partnerships, leveraging those partnerships to ultimately bring me clients. But what I'm going to walk you guys through in this framework is honestly a very simple concept, right? The way that you close bigger clients is the way I kind of break this down. You have to be different, do things that are different that make you stand out in your market, and ultimately you will have those bigger clients you want to work with. So let's kind of walk through very simply why I want to talk about this. So a lot of you guys, when you're first starting, even existing agencies that I see right now, you're still trying to go after those clients that have $1,000 in ad spend and expect to get the biggest return on investment from just $1,000. And I want to call everyone out trying to go after those clients that have $1,000 budgets. Nothing against those clients, but Meta is becoming more competitive than Google right now. Everyone that spends thousands of dollars on Google is now coming into Meta, now investing in organic content, now running ads. So why are you still trying to go after people that think they can scale $1,000 if that budget is no longer competitive when it comes to Meta ads? It might work for local businesses, but if you are a construction company and you are trying to compete in competitive markets, $1,000 ain't gonna do shit. Sorry, but not sorry. $1,000 is not enough to compete in construction markets. So what we tell our students and our mentees, and even something that we operate within my agency, is we don't take any client that has less than $3,500 a month purely in ad spend. And the reason that we can go after clients that have $3,500 in ad spend is because we can tell them you can expect to get this much in revenue, this much in new projects from working with us across 90 days. So when you position yourself and really sell the outcome instead of selling the service, what you're doing is you're giving them a clear expectation, clear standard of really the results that you want to generate with them. So they're aligned in that sense and they're willing to spend more because you have that end goal in mind. When you try selling to local clients that think they can sell or think they can scale $1,000, you guys are just selling services, selling deliverables, and that doesn't give them a clear outcome of, okay, how much are we going to generate over the next couple of months working with you? So I really want to make this video because a lot of you guys are, I even see some bigger marketing agencies, they're pushing advertisements, and sorry if I'm yapping, but this is kind of something I want to call out. I see agencies that are saying this client spent $500 and they got $100,000 back. This client spent $300 and got $50,000 back. First of all, that is a horrible ad to run because you are setting a horrible standard and drawing the worst type of clients into your funnel with that messaging. What you're saying is your marketing message is trying to appeal to the bottom of companies that are gonna come to those sales calls and think, hey, this guy scaled at $300, why can't he give me the same results? So you don't even wanna appeal to that market, and if you use like those types of marketing angles where you say they spent this and got this back, that works a little bit to bring people in the door, but when they hop on the sales call, like their standards and expectations are gonna be fucked. And that's really the whole point of marketing, is to set those standards and expectations through your marketing, through your messaging. And if you try appealing to the bottom of the market with those angles, ultimately the sales is gonna be like horrendous, but more important, the churn on the back end is gonna be horrendous as well. You're gonna have people that churn after the first month after spending $300 because you set the expectation in your marketing that they could scale at $300 to $600. What I'm trying to get across and convey in this video is that you should not be working with any clients that have only $1,000 in ad spend. Why? Because Meta is getting more competitive every single day. More and more companies are leaving Google and coming on Meta, and they're outspending you now 10 to 1. So my whole point of this video is I want to help you guys learn how to close bigger clients the same way I did, and really kind of show you guys that if you're still trying to appeal to that bottom market that only has $1,000 in ad spend, your agency's cooked, your business model is not scalable, and ultimately you're gonna have a fucking headache of trying to scale that operation on the marketing, on the sales, and on the churn side as well, because you're setting the wrong expectations and wrong standards if you're trying to appeal to those bottom market clients. Nothing against them, but at the end of the day, we're in this agency business to work with the top companies, and you will never work with the top companies if all of your marketing is geared towards bottom level clients. So let's kind of get into the framework. Sorry for that yap, but I thought it was necessary because I get hit with marketing ads every day, and the agencies are fucking cooked. If you're going after the bottom level clients, you're cooked. Sorry, let's run it. So this is a simple framework. If you want to close bigger clients, the first thing to do is you need to be different. So how can you be different? A lot of people think it's about offer. I really don't think it's about the offer. I've coached a lot of mentorship students. Let's see if, hold on. So what most courses, what most coaches will tell you in the agency space is the way to stand out is with your offer. But I don't believe the offer is gonna save you. What I see a lot of beginner agencies doing, especially when they go after the fucking worst type of clients, is they try to do like the income offer. Basically what that means is we'll get you like 30K in 60 days, or you don't pay. That offer will bring you the fucking worst clients in the world. Headache clients, people that have this standard and expectation. So it's not always about the offer. And what's even worse about having these income guaranteed claim offers is, one, you're drawing in the worst of the clients that they're gonna see you as an expense, as a liability, and not an opportunity to grow their business. So if you rely on that messaging, you're appealing to that bottom market. And first of all, do you think multi-million-dollar company is gonna give a fuck about $30,000 in revenue? No. So ultimately, by having this messaging in your funnel, in your marketing, you're just hurting yourself. You're stabbing yourself in the back, and you're bringing yourself the low-level clients. And if you use that messaging to get more clients, guess what? You will never get those big multi-million-dollar companies. So in my opinion, it's not always about the offer. I honestly think it's more about the positioning. So this is where you have to be a little different in how you position yourself. There's something I do, which you guys can kind of copy, is my whole goal with my agency is not to get 1,000 clients and deal with the headache of operation, of sales, and ultimately become like a sales agency. That's what the top marketing companies do, is they just are a sales agency, and their fulfillment sucks in the back end, and the only way for them to grow their business is to get more clients, because their churn on the back end is like people leave after 3 to 5 months, so their churn is fucking crazy. The only way to be different now in this market is not really with your offer, because a lot of people just copy and paste their offers. It's really how you position yourself. So you probably see a lot of people call themselves growth partners. When I first started, I called myself a growth consultant. But it's ultimately, when you think about how to position yourself, it's really about making sure that your clients are aligned with how you want to operate your business. So in my case, the way I position myself differently is I try to be, sorry, I don't have a lot of space here, a fractional CMO. I want to help multi-million-dollar companies scale an ads department in-house. That's my messaging. That's how I position myself. I'm your in-house team, meta department. That's why I can close big multi-million-dollar companies, because I talk a little differently. I talk the language that they like. They don't want to fucking work with a marketing agency for the next 3 years of their business. They want to work with a fractional CMO who will take more responsibility, take more leadership roles in executing their meta goals, their advertisement goals. So you can see here, the way I've kind of closed bigger clients is never leaning on income guarantees, never leaning on being a growth partner, whatever the fuck that means. People just copy and paste words nowadays. Or even being a freelance brand scaler, like what the fuck even is that? What I do is I talk the language of my customers. So if you talk saying income guarantees, $30,000 in 30 days, you're gonna get those type of clients that offer appeals to. If you say, I'm a fractional CMO and I help you scale in-house meta ads departments, that's gonna appeal to the multi-million-dollar clients that you wanna go after. So when you think about how to be different, how to position your marketing agency a little differently today in today's market, you have a lot of competition. There's a lot of other agencies out there. So don't even try to copy and paste their offers, copy and paste their funnels. The only way to be different is to think about how you want to position yourself in that market. And for me, I've never tried to be the all-in-one agency. I've stuck with meta ads for the past 3 years, and I've kind of mastered in my strategies for that, specifically in real estate and construction. So my positioning has always been, I'm your in-house guy, I'm your fractional CMO, and I'm gonna help you scale a system in-house. In-house, in-house, in-house is their favorite word, because ultimately they just want more access to you at the end of the day. So that's the first part, be different. And it's not about being different with your offer, it's about being different in your positioning. So what I see a lot of you guys doing in the construction space with new marketing agencies is you're saying you're a growth partner. But what the fuck does a growth partner mean? In your content, make sure that you are reinforcing what that means to you, because ultimately your clients are going to be aligned with the messaging you're pushing. So if you're pushing this 30K in 60 days, then you're going to get more people that appeal and align with that message. But if you appeal and talk more about what a growth partner means to you and how you want to build your business, then ultimately in your content is going to draw in the type of clients you want if you position yourself a little differently. So a lot of you guys just have growth partner in your bios, but you should be doing a better job in your content of explaining what that growth partner means to you. How does that show up in the agency relationship between you and your clients? And ultimately, how does that help your clients get better results versus just having growth partner in your bio and then having basic guarantees like that in the back end, you know? So it ultimately just comes down to positioning. That's it. So now, second part, do. If you want to create your own market, if you want to stand out in the whole agency space, positioning, step number one. But do is really what it takes to close those bigger clients. This is just like how you get attention, right? And ultimately, I think it's attention and alignment with the clients you want. So attention/alignment. Do is really, what are the actions you need to do? When you think about how to be different, there's really two angles you can take. And I've always believed in personalization and intention. And in my opinion, in today's market, the only way to close bigger clients is to be personal with your outreach and make it intentional. So what does that mean? The way I've closed my biggest clients is I've sent them my business hoodie with a handwritten card note saying, hey, I think there's a big opportunity for us to work together. We'd love to connect in person and see how we can support your growth. That simple hoodie, that simple handwritten note starts a conversation, it puts me in front of them, and then I hit them with emails and DMs on top of that. And then I've always used Loom Outreach to close bigger clients. So what I do in my Loom Outreach, I'll make a whole separate video on this. But this is ultimately my method. It's just sending Loom videos of how I think they can get more revenue, get more high ticket projects using my strategies. So I break down in that Loom video my entire strategy, some other case studies and testimonials I have. But ultimately, the reason why that Loom outreach works is because I'm leading with value. So the way that you can be different is really lead with value. So I do Loom outreach, but I also do things on top of that, like my hoodie method, that's personal and intentional. And that is ultimately what keeps me top of mind for these big companies and helps me close them, because I'm the only one sending them hoodies. I'm the only one sending them Loom videos. There's a lot of other people that DM them basically saying this shit, right? Income guarantees, other shit. So the way I stand out as a marketing agency is the first thing I do is I lead with value, right? If they don't respond to that, if they kind of ghost me in the follow-up, I make sure that what is another way I can grab their attention? What is another way I can stand out from everyone else pitching them? I just send them a hoodie method. I send them a hoodie with a handwritten note, and the rest is kind of just history, you know? So the first thing you focus on is positioning yourself a little differently than the market. The second thing you do is do actions that are different than what everyone else does. Whatever you see other people doing, do the fucking opposite. It's that fucking simple, you know? And what I've done throughout my whole agency is Loom outreach, and then the follow-up is where I kind of test my creativity. How else can I get their attention? How else can I stand out? How else can I give value? How else can I stay top of mind for that business owner? And ultimately, it's not a game of like begging for business. It's a game of being creative, and being creative with how you close the client, being creative with how you present yourself and your business. So the fact that I can send them a hoodie, I'm the only other marketing agency sending them a hoodie to their business. That's why I stand out. That's why they end up signing with me, because they know I'm doing whatever it takes to get their attention. And if I do whatever it takes to make my outreach work and close them, guess what? I'm gonna do whatever it takes to help them get results with meta ads, right? It's that simple, honestly. So if you be different in the way you position your offer and you do your action differently in terms of how you're trying to close your clients, that's ultimately going to help you close bigger clients and have better clients. And all the companies I work with, they have marketing budgets that I require $3,500 a month just in ad spend. So the reason I can kind of have clients that do that, bigger companies, multi-million-dollar companies, is because I fix how I position my offer, I fix the actions that help me close them and stand out, and ultimately that helps me have better clients that can afford bigger marketing budgets that help me get better results. So a lot of you guys, if you're still trying to go after those $1,000 a month clients, you're cooked. You're not gonna scale. You're gonna have a headache trying to grow that. You'll probably get to like 50K a month and then that's it, tap out, you know? And then your churn is gonna be fucking horrendous on the back end because those are the worst type of clients to work with. So the only way to get clients that, not even that are $1 million companies, but that can afford this budget is to be different, do different actions to close them that make you stand out, that are personalized and intentional to doing whatever it takes to close them. And ultimately, you're gonna have better clients that have bigger marketing budgets that help you get better results for your clients. So I'll keep the video here, but hopefully you can kind of see this is a framework I've used for the past 3 years in growing my agency, and it's helped me close big clients, multi-million-dollar companies. And ultimately, it's just about being creative, right? We are marketers at heart. We know how to be creative, but a lot of you guys just try to copy and paste the same cookie cutter strategies, and if it doesn't work for you, you kind of give up, and then you blame the fucking mentor, the course that you bought for it not working. But what we always tell people, if you're a beginner or you're intermediate, it's like, don't go after the bottom of the market. Figure out strategies, be more creative with how you're trying to close bigger clients, and ultimately those bigger clients will bring you bigger opportunities. So there's one more thing I want to touch on when it comes to the do part of this framework. And it's pretty simply, it comes down to one thing, and it's how bad do you want the client? So I can do minimal effort and get 10 super mid, super low level clients, or I can spend a little more of my time, a little more of my effort focusing on getting bigger clients, right? So there's a lot of people that DM me, how do you follow up with people when they ghost you, right? And a lot of these people that tell me or reach out to me with these stories are in the kind of the beginning year of their agency. And a lot of the times what they tell me is that they get ghosted after they send the proposal or after they do the outreach. So a simple thing you can do if you are local to the client you're trying to close is lead with value. And not a lot of people do this because they're lazy. And I'll give you a perfect example. 2 people this week reached out to me. They asked me, hey, what do you do when someone that you send a proposal to ghosts you? One guy sells automations, the other guy sells, I don't even know what he sells, videography, something like that. Maybe ads, I don't know. So I told them, when you have clients that are in your sales process, right? They ghosted you, you send the proposal, and then you're kind of in the limbo stage of, oh fuck, do I put more effort into reaching out to them, or do I just move on and try reaching out to the next client? What I told them to do, it's such a simple concept, go close in person. But you do that leading with value. So both of these guys, I told them, if you get ghosted by a lead and they are local in your area, why not send them a simple Instagram DM, a simple phone message, text message, a simple email saying, hey, XYZ business owner, I'm gonna be in your area tomorrow, have urgency, have my videographer with me, was wondering if we could stop by, make you some free videos, and then talk about how we can continue to support the growth of your business. Both of these kids sent the same message the same day, and the guys responded saying, yeah, we're interested. One of the kids was my student. He sells automations and works with me to sell ads. The lead that ghosted him owns 3 different car collision centers. So I told him, get your videographer, go in person, film free videos with him, and while your videographer is filming videos, you can talk business with him. So he did this exact same strategy, went the next day, he got a response the same day, booked in a time to go meet with him the next day, and guess what? He closed the client in person, and they got free videos for the client, which they're gonna use as ads. So it's a very simple concept. When you are in the follow-up process, and when you are in limbo stage in your sales process, and you think a lead ghosted you, all business owners want to do is work with other business owners. And they are very easy to close in person when you show up and show them what you're gonna do. So instead of waiting for them to respond back to you, why not take some initiative? Why not lead with value? Why not fucking do some work and do some effort and show them what you can do instead of just yapping about it, right? They've been promised 1,000 different things by 1,000 different people, 1,000 different marketing agencies. And the only thing that makes you stand out is the fact that you're leading with value, you're showing up with a videographer so you look more established, you look like you have a team, right? And then while your videographer is doing the work of getting videos, you can just reignite that conversation and close in person. Business owners, especially contractors, love to close in person because they want to see if they trust you. And the easiest way to build trust is meet them in person. So that's kind of my framework. If you are in that follow-up process or don't know how to close clients, do things differently than other people. Don't try to get clients purely online, purely through email, purely through cold calling. Show some intention, show some personalization, and actually go and give value, show up in person and close them. Business owners love to get closed in person. So if you can find different creative strategies to close in person, even if it's just offering and bringing a free videographer that day to follow you and offer some free videos, it's an easy way to lead with value and to show intention and to show that you actually know what you're doing and you show up and you have a process, you have a plan, you have a team, right? Instead of just yapping and promising you can deliver, why don't you just show up in person, bring a videographer, bring a camera, and show them what you can do. It's that simple. So that's number one. I also want to expand to that. Another thing that I do personally, it only works if you have been in this space for years, is do consulting. So what do I mean by that? I'm not saying you have to be a consultant, but it directly relates to leading with value. So I'll give you an example. We just closed a big roofing client, right? $6 million operation. They're about to hit $8 million. What we did was we looked at his ads manager. You can literally go to ads library and look at what ads different companies are running. They were running straight discount promotional based ads. Save $2,000 off XYZ. So what I did was I reached out to him, or he reached out to me, but I'm setting this as an example for you guys, right? What you can do is if you see a company, a big company at that, running discount promotional based ads, why not simply go to Canva, make them some better ads, screenshot some photos or videos from their website, make them better ads in Canva, and then when you send your message to them, be like, hey, I noticed you're currently running discount promotional based ads. I think these would perform better. So you're taking that consulting approach and leading with value, but actually it just comes down to showing what you can do for them. And that's what it really takes. You have to do a little more effort, show a little more intention, but also you need to show them what you want to do with them, show them what you can do, instead of just promising it and like any other agency does. They get messages about marketing and ads 1,000 times a day. So the only way you can be different is to show them what you can physically do for them with either bringing a videographer in person, or actually creating ads for them, sending it to them in your outreach message. What we do is, because we have access to bigger clients, we basically just say a simple message. Hey, we noticed you're running ads right now. We'd love to, hey, we noticed you're running ads right now. We'd love to hop into your ads manager, give you a free consultation, and see how we can help optimize your ads, right? Especially if you know they're struggling with specific things like cost to acquire customer, cost per lead, or any of those back-end KPIs are high. You can literally lead with consultation. This works more if you're experienced and you have like access to those people. This is what I do now. I basically come in as a consultant and I say, hey, I want to give you a free consultation, some free value. I'll hop into your ads manager, I'll look at your funnels, look at your ads, look at all your back-end numbers, and I really figure out and diagnose what are the problems that you're currently experiencing with in your ad account, and some strategies you can use to bring down your cost per lead, bring down your cost to acquire customer, and just get the biggest return on investment from your ad spend and your marketing system, right? So that's what I do, is I do things a little differently. I lead with a free consultation where I actually hop into the ads manager and I create them like a one-page Google Doc showcasing the steps they can do to reduce certain KPIs or reduce certain bottlenecks in their marketing system. And at the end of the day, it's a simple principle of leading with value. Most kids today, they're hungry, but they don't know how to lead with value. They figure out ways to spam message, to spam email different businesses, spam cold call, right? That doesn't work today. Business owners are very in tune with scam marketing agencies, very in tune with 1,000 different messages they get from different kids promising them to do X, Y, Z. So the only way you can stand out is you have to do a little more effort, and you can either do that from doing consulting, leading with value, or you have to go in person and get the close in person. But it ultimately just comes down to like, how much do you want that client? And in my case, like, I want these bigger clients like bad. Like I would wait a month to get a big client instead of getting 10 low-end clients in like a day. Just because I know who I want to work with, I know that I get the best results with companies that have $3,500 a month or more in ad spend. And ultimately, the way I get these clients is because I just do a little more effort on the Loom videos, on going in person to close them, on leading with value through my consultations. And ultimately, it makes me seen in their eyes exactly how I want to be positioned as the fractional CMO, as the guy who can manage their meta ads department, and as the guy who can really scale their marketing system and not just be another marketing agency for them. So they see me as the in-house team because I do a lot of effort when it comes to leading with value, showing them what I can do, showing them how bad I want to work with them, showing them actual intention, right? And that's what I'll say close the deals. So when you are in that phase of how do I get bigger clients, what do I need to do, right? I gave you 4 things you can do to lead with value. You can send Loom videos, you can send them free ads by going to their websites or social media, screenshotting photos of their completed projects and making cooler ads for them. You can do free consultations, or you can just show up in person with a videographer, get them some free videos, and then close them in person on the initial deal that you want to close them. But ultimately, it just comes down to showing them what you can do. Physically show them what you can do. Send them some ads, film some videos for them, give them some free consulting, and that will position you as the expert. So I'll leave the video here. Catch you guys in the next one. Hasta luego.